you struggle with controlling the club face, how it meets the ground and the ball, ideally the club is going to meet the ball on the ground at the same time. Also, ideally, we get the ball to be struck from the middle of the club face, and the club face is aimed at the target when the ball is struck. So much of that comes back to how the right hand is placed on the golf club and then what it does during the golf swing. Hi, I'm Peter Knight. Today we're going to have a look at how the right hand works during the golf swing, but first of all, how you place it on the club. So if we have a look, first of all, when I hold my right hand out here, my wrist is vertical, and so is my hand. My hand's running straight up and down, so is my wrist. That would be horizontal, and then anything else is angled. If I was going to, say, slap a wall, and the wall was in front of me here, then I would slap it, and when I slapped it, my hand would meet the wall flat, and my wrist would be vertical. When I swing a golf club, I want my hand and my wrist to operate much the same way, so that when the club moves down and strikes the ball, my right wrist is vertical or very close to it, and the back of my hand, or palm of my hand, sorry, is facing the target. That's what I'm looking to achieve at impact. If I set myself up and my club face is square and I'm holding the club correctly, then when I swing back to the ball, I can bring my hand back to this point. If I'm holding the club incorrectly, then I'm likely to have to make some form of manipulation. So let's have a look and see how the right hand should be placed on the club. So to begin with, you can see here, I've put a couple of black lines on my hand here. This one here running across the joints in my fingers here, the first joint on my middle finger and ring finger, and the last joint on my forefinger, so that when I hold the club, the bottom of the grip runs across here. Now most players, when they hold the club, grip it in the base of the fingers rather than in here, so that when the hand's closed, the grip is going to look something like that with the right hand. So the right thumb's either going to be going down straight down the bottom of the middle of the grip, or like I've done here, have it on the right side of the grip. When I hold the club, if it's in the fingers, then when I close my hand, this other line here on the palm of my right hand, when I close my hand, that's covering my thumb over. So now my right hand is much more in the fingers. The line formed between the thumb and the forefinger is pointed up around it somewhere near my right shoulder, and my right thumb is actually sitting on the left side of the grip. Also, when I'm holding the club here, you can see that my right wrist is almost vertical. So this is critical when you're playing your shots, to have the right wrist in the correct position. As the club swings back and through, when I swing the club back to here, my right hand palm is facing almost directly out. When I swing to here, palm of the right hand is angled, much the same angle as the club. The top of the swing is going to be angled back round about 45 degrees, and then in the downswing, I'm reversing that. So when I get to here, palm of my right hand's open and it's on about the same angle as the club. Now it's facing forward, and now it's facing the target. So holding the club correctly and getting the right hand to move properly is your best way of getting control of that shot. If I hold the club properly with the right hand, that's going to guarantee me very good control of the club face. So I can have the club face aimed where I want it to be aimed at impact. If the right hand's incorrect, I'm going to have to make some sort of manipulative movement to get that control. So practice placing your hand on the grip. It will feel unusual when you first do it. It'll probably feel like it takes away power and control, but it will actually give you that power and control. Now, for players who normally hold the club under here, the first few times you do it, the ball may start going to the right of the target. The reason for that is that as the club's swinging down, it's been very difficult to release the club correctly in the past, and so you've stopped the club from rotating too much. So when you hold the club correctly, now you probably will have to feel like the club face does square up a little bit more. That's it's a fine calibration thing that you can practice. But generally speaking, you're going to hit the ball much straighter, and those other things like catching the ball on the ground correctly and hitting the ball in the middle of the club face are much more likely to occur properly.